Can we discuss how bad the mix on the new Nightwish single is? Perfume of the Timeless just came out. Excitement is in the air, as there should be. It's Nightwish. But the strange mixing choices and overall weak sound has been going on since Endless Form's Most Beautiful. That's 10 years now. It's time some attention is drawn to it. Before I get into the production, I'll comment on the song itself. It seems like a condensed follow-up to Floor-era tracks like The Greatest Show on Earth and the shorter music. You have the build-up for 2 minutes, with tribal drums, a choir, and orchestral sounds. The metal kicks in after 2 minutes. Music was the same way. It took over 3 minutes before Floor started singing, and about 5 minutes before the band kicked in. I kinda miss when big Nightwish songs didn't take so long to start rocking. Remember The Poet and the Pendulum? 14-minute song. It had the child singing the intro, but only took about a minute before the dun 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 started. And then the band came in and ripped your head off. And that was before Annette started singing. But it all came in powerful. You could still hear the orchestra while not having to be reminded that you're listening to a fucking metal band. Those guitars and double kicks come in and you're like, yeah, that's awesome. We'll come back to that. Perfume of the Timeless has this theme about ancestry, so the music video has strong references to Darwinism. The new album is supposedly going to be about the concept of memories, the passage of time, etc. I'd say if you like Endless Forms era Nightwish, this song is for you. I gotta say though, Perfume of the Timeless. That's gotta be some strong perfume if you only have to spritz it once and it becomes timeless. Does that mean that it takes a few showers to get off? Or maybe it's the type of fragrance where you only have to spray it once and you don't have to spritz it again throughout your day. That would be pretty convenient. But there were a couple things that I noticed. You have a force to be reckoned with in a vocalist like Floor Jansen. So why are her vocals kind of audible during the verses but buried during the choruses? The chorus is really where you want your vocals to be heard. I can barely hear her. She's drowned out by all the horns. I actually had to read along with the lyrics to know what she was saying.
We are their air dust on their palm. We are because of a million loves.
Aside from that, after the first chorus, wouldn't it be cool if you could hear some clangy bass a little more? It just made me wish that it sounded like those opening lines in Amaranth. No trouble hearing the bass there. Even Floor's run at about 6 minutes in. That could be a little louder and still be ambient if that's what they were going for. That's the problem though. I can't tell if it was artistic choice or just bad production. They're obviously proud of the orchestra. That's why the second disc of Human Nature was just orchestral stuff. It's also why my copy of Imaginarum had a bonus disc of instrumental versions so you could hear the nuances of the instruments. Endless Forms was where the orchestral stuff started to seem louder than the band. I guess they were trying to go for more dynamic range and atmosphere with that mix. The drums, however, they seem too far back for my liking. There has to be the proper ebb and flow, and at times that mix just seemed too soft. Remember, even with the symphonic stuff, we're listening to a metal band. A lot of people don't like Human Nature. To each their own. To me, it was a step back in the right direction as far as heavier guitars and drums that had more balls. But let's take Tribal. Wouldn't the skeleton dance hit harder if the dueling growly vocals were higher in the mix? That might be part of the reason why some fans can't connect with that album or Endless Forms is just because of the way they sound. And the same problems apply to Perfume of the Timeless. There's that big focus on the orchestral stuff, and it seems like the main band is on the back burner for a good bit of it. Don't believe me? Listen to this, and then go back and listen to Storytime, or Amaranth, or Ghost Love Score. Those songs had great balances in having heaviness while also having strings and horns. But that also meant that when they mixed those songs, they remembered that the band should be the main focus. With Ghost Love Score, when the band stopped raging, the violins and the wind instruments were soft and beautiful to listen to. But when those drums and guitars came back in, you knew it right away. They weren't competing with anything. They didn't mesh together with the orchestra. Nightwish had been working with the same team of engineers for decades. The albums may have been recorded in different studios. The albums may have said, produced by Tuomas Holopainen or produced by Nightwish on the back of the albums, but The same engineers basically have been working with the band for a long time. They were able to get these explosive, bombastic, and beautiful sounds on these albums, like Once, Dark Passion Play, and Imaginarum. So it's not like they're incapable of getting great sounds. The 2000s Nightwish albums were sort of products of their time with the amount of compression and limiting that was used. That might be why they steered for quieter mixes starting with Endless Forms. I also understand that the music evolved over time, so the big, hard, and loud sound of Century Child wasn't exactly what they were going for by 2014. But any day of the week, I will tell you that Phantom of the Opera hits so much harder than Shudder Before the Beautiful. It's not like mixing Nightwish is easy, either. They have a million tracks to mix. This isn't the worst mix I've ever heard, but if you know anything about recording Nightwish, they're not low-budget production jobs. I've heard this song through phone speakers, I've heard it through headphones, and I've heard it through my monitors. With all the money being thrown at recording these albums, I should be going, how did they get that awesome snare drum sound? Instead of, hey, what's Floor saying here? Meanwhile, the new High on Fire album, despite having a significantly lower budget, has me blown away by the drum sound alone. None of this is coming from a place of malice either. I love Nightwish, I love every singer they had. I just wish that the newer productions had more balance and gusto. Maybe I'll hear the Atmos mix and be blown away by it. As far as the new album, hopefully I can fall in love with the music and forgive the mixing a little bit. Grind on. And go watch my recent video, Concert Stories Part 5.